असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय. सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Good afternoon. Guten Tag. Wie geht's? How are you all? Doing well? I think in 3 weeks you're done with the session. Session is drawing to a close. Hope you are learning your language well. Online students also. I'm not able to see you, but I want to visit your rooms, classrooms. Teachers tell that most of you don't switch on the video. Anyway, even if I enter the classroom also, I can't see you. Youth. This is the most desirous and sought after stage of life, because we want to be young forever. In fact, if we have any chance, if you have any say there, childhood, youth, middle age, and then old age, the 4 stages of life. The most preferred stage is, you all know, youth. But according to our sages, this is the most dangerous phase of life. They say, yavanena naye nashtaha, nashta nanyena te janaha. Somebody who is not lost in youth is never lost in life. That means so many temptations, so many attractions. While it is desirable for the physical body, from a psychological perspective, it's the most undesirable stage of life, because mind is very swift and very strong, and it rides on us practically. 40s, 50s, calmness comes little, because now you have had a lot of experience of life. You become a little sober, you become mature. In old age, it becomes easy to control the mind further, because you have had a lot of experience. But at this stage of life, it's very difficult to tame the mind. So it acts against our interest, but we don't even notice that. As Khalil Gibran says, youth is too busy a life to seek knowledge. Knowledge is too busy struggling to live itself, he says. Youth is too busy a life to seek knowledge, and knowledge is too busy seeking to live itself. So, how true that statement is. Rama says in Yoga Vashishta, youth is like a sandstorm that dissipates all our good qualities, he said. This phase of life is like sandstorm that dissipates all our good qualities. It makes us believe the unreal as real. Because we are strong and we're vigorous, we think actually we'll be like this forever. It makes us, our mind makes us work under that delusion. What is changeful, what is constantly changing, okay, we don't notice that. We think actually it will be forever like this. Yeah, more or less everybody will be under that deception, but we don't notice that also. ఇలానే ఉంటుంది జీవితాంతం అని అనుకుంటాం బట్ when the subject changes, the objective world also changes. You just go and ask a 75-year-old man, 80-year-old man, okay, yeah, the optimism that we exude when we are younger, the same kind of optimism is not to be seen there in a old man. Why? Because now the subject has changed, it has become weak, diseases are overpowering the individual, okay. And as it has changed, the external world is more or less the same, but now actually I have become a spent force, death is drawing nearer. Then actually you have a different perspective of life. But when we are young, we don't think that we will also, go back. We'll be going there very soon. We think the day is very far off. But time moves so fast. Today you are a young man and tomorrow you are an old man. But the day is not very far. Time moves too fast, much faster than we imagine. So that's why people have said that. So the only purpose of life is to seek the truth. But very difficult to bring young people to philosophy. Very difficult to bring young people to philosophy because body is strong. Mind cheats us, but we don't notice it. That's why they said in the Yoga Vashishta. So it is desirable for the physical body, but not so desirable for the mind. In youth, metaphorically they say, it's like like a mirage. When you see a mirage from a distance, it makes you feel that there is water, but when you go near it, it's not a water body. You're deceived, you're cheated. Right? Like that, youth is a very deceptive phase of life. The Rama says there in the Yoga Vashishta, Yavanam name rochate. So I'm not fascinated, I'm not enamored of this phase of life. There in our scriptures, the youth and this phase of life is compared with like river Vaitarani. River Vaitarani is a very swift flowing river, very difficult to ford the river. And that individual alone can be called a great human being who passes through this turbulent phase of life without any trouble. Okay, this turbulent phase of life, youth, between 13, 14, now you can say 30, 35. This phase of life, most wanted, most sought after phase of life, but at the same time, the mind is so deceptive at this point of time. We need to be on our guard. So, yavanena naye nashta, nashta nanyena tejanaha. They says, mahanaraka bijena santata brahmadhaina. Yavanena naye nashtaha nashta nanyena tejanaha. Mahanaraka bijena. This youth at this stage of life sows the seeds for great hell. Mahanaraka bija. నరకానికి బీజాలు ఈ దశలో ఉన్నప్పుడు పడతాయి. మహానరక బీజేన సంతత భ్రమదాయిన always creates delusions in our mind. You just see the kind of daydreaming, the kind of imagination. Practically it goes berserk there in our mind. We don't notice it. The mind is so swift, right? It's difficult. But in the 40s and 50s, now you have had a lot of experience and then you become sober, you can reflect, you can think, more maturity comes. The same maturity and wisdom that we get generally in 40s and 50s, if we have in this phase of life, you'll become very productive and you'll become very successful in life. And the maturity and the wisdom that a man of 60 or 70 exhibits, that maturity and wisdom, if it comes to us when we are of this age, success is yours. But now, mind is a formidable enemy. To tame it, to control it, you have to have some spiritual process. You have to get introduced to some spiritual process, either there's meditation, a prayer, a selfless service, or repetition of God's name. Some spiritual process you should get initiated into, which will help you to control the mind, to observe the mind, to tame the mind. The more you become successful in taming the mind, okay, the higher the heights that you reach in life. So be on your guard, Savadan. Hmm? Be on your guard and Savadan. Just observe the mind, what it is doing. Do I have to be in this kind of slavery always? Why should I be? Have a question. So, what I need to do to come out of this slavery? My mind wants me to be under its control. I don't want to be under its control. It must listen to me. After all, it is my instrument. It must serve me. Have that kind of idea, goal, desire, then something miraculous will happen in your life. Okay? Thank you. Nice afternoon.